Hey K-popers, and welcome back to Hallyu. This week we're talking about one of my all-time favorite girl groups, Girls' Day. Are they legends? Are they underrated? Are they both? We'll try to answer that first by taking a look at their first couple of years as a group and how that paved the way for a future breakout. Next, we'll see how Girls' Day flipped a switch and started pumping out back-to-back hits on their way to superstardom, and finally, we'll talk about their legacy and place among the best girl groups of all time, where I'll make my case for why I think they're still underrated despite their huge success. Before we get started, I want to quickly thank Hallyu's honorary producers. If you want to show off your bias group here, share your picks in weekly videos, and join a vibrant Discord community with watch parties, custom emoji, and more, all you need to do is support Hallyu on Patreon. Girls' Day's journey begins in the summer of 2010 when 5 members debuted under Dream Tea Entertainment. Those 5 members were Sojin, Mina, Jihye, Jisun, and Jiin, and they made their debut on July 7th with the song Tilt My Head and its EP Girls' Day Party No. 1, which came 2 days later. However, after completing their follow-up promotions with the song How About Me, 2 members left the group to pursue individual careers, those being Jisun and Jiin. They were immediately replaced by Yura and Hyeri though, and wasting no time, the new lineup came back with a digital single called Nothing Lasts Forever. This song is fantastic, and while I may be a bit partial to it because I love girl group band concepts, we really got to see some of the talent and potential in Girls' Day with this early release. Perhaps the most obvious example of this is with Mina, the main vocalist, and that's because in the final bridge of the song, she's tasked with a powerful high note which she has to hold perfectly for 11 seconds long. Check it out in this M Countdown live performance. The very next song the girls released would go on to be a big one for their success as a group, the digital single Twinkle Twinkle. This song was way more popular than any of their other previous singles. While Nothing Lasts Forever topped out at number 66 on the Gaon single chart, Twinkle Twinkle reached number 5 and sold over 2 million digital copies. Girls' Day were on the map, ranking high in monthly and annual charts with the song, and they even got invited by Korea Tourism to perform in Taiwan alongside UKISS and Super Junior M. Their next 2 songs, Hug Me Once and Don't Flirt, continued their success with both charting in the top 50 on Melon's monthly digital chart. And then Girls' Day did something that we almost never see nowadays that I really do miss in K-pop. They did something silly. With their next EP's title track, Oh My God, the girls made a hilarious dance battlefield MV with ridiculous slow-mo shots, facial expressions, and talking noises like you'd expect from an Animal Crossing game. No, seriously.
Come on.
While Oh My God isn't high up on my favorite songs by the group, I do love the idea of it, and we'll talk about it a bit more later on too. Unfortunately though, after this release in 2012, member Jihye left the group for personal reasons, leaving Girls' Day as the quartet that we know today: Sojin, Mina, Yura, and Hyeri. With 4 members, Girls' Day were starting a new chapter in their journey as a girl group, and in my view it began one of the longest runs of fantastic songs from any girl group ever. Are you ready? So, Girls' Day's next release and their first as 4 was Don't Forget Me. This is a beautiful song in every way. As its title suggests, the song is all about a lover reminiscing about a lost relationship, from its beginning to the present where she can't stop feeling that same love. And this song does something that I absolutely love when artists do, which is they change the chorus ever so slightly with each iteration to reflect the progression of the song's story. Let's check out what I mean first, and then I'll explain it. So as you heard, the word that's repeated right before the chorus changes every time, from i름, which means name, to bimil, which means secret, to noru, which means you. At the start we have name because the 2 lovers are just meeting for the first time. They're introducing themselves to each other, which then progresses to secret as the infatuation takes hold and the desire to be together builds. Then finally it ends with you because the girl knows it's that person that's the recipient of her love now. So much meaning from just 3 words. Don't Forget Me is arguably a masterpiece, and let me tell you, we're just getting started. Why is that? Well, because Girls' Day's next title track is also a masterpiece, Expect. The girls started off showing their sexy side in this release, and between the visuals and the absolutely iconic choreography, this song was a huge hit. Expect was the recipient of many charting accolades, including the Long Run Song of the Year award from Gaon, and it was Girls' Day's breakout onto the US World Chart at number 15. In fact, when SBS held their Gayo Daejeon end-of-year concert, it was Expect and Apink's No 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 that were chosen for a special girl group collab stage where each girl group performed the other one's song. Check it out. Girls' Day's next song came as part of a repackage, but as you can probably guess by now, it was also a legendary comeback in its own right. That song was Female President, which continued with that sexier image in another fantastic song with more great vocals from Mina as well. Female President was even chosen as one of the 20 best K-pop songs of 2013 by Billboard. And after 2 more solid releases in the form of Please Tell Me and Let's Go, Girls' Day did it once again. On January 3rd, 2014, they released the EP Everyday 3 and its title track, Something. As you can see from the clip, this song and its MV are very provocative, and it brought Girls' Day all the way to the very top of K-pop fame. The MV logged 1 million views in its first 24 hours, which, if you're a newer K-pop fan, trust me, that was a lot of views in 24 hours back in 2014. It also skyrocketed to number 2 on the Gaon Digital chart, number 1 on its monthly chart, and it spent 2 months in the top 10 on the K-pop 100 chart. Not to mention, it won them 5 music shows and a MAMA for Best Dance Performance by a Female Group in 2014. If they weren't already a household name, Girls' Day cemented themselves as superstars with Something. And still, they weren't done. Their very next comeback was Darling, a fun summer comeback where the girls perfectly walked the line between cute and sexy. Darling was yet another resounding success for them, and it became their first #1 song on the Gaon Digital chart as a group, a milestone that had just barely eluded them with Something. After so many back-to-back hits, the group was firmly in the spotlight, and they kept that reputation up with more hits like their ballad I Miss You, their CF Hello Bubble for Mise-en-Scène Hair Dye, and of course Ring My Bell. Girls' Day would also go on to release a Japanese debut album in 2015, which had Japanese versions of their songs Twinkle Twinkle, Darling, and Ring My Bell. After that though, despite all the success they had, things went quiet for a long time. It wasn't until March of 2017, after 21 months on hiatus, that Girls' Day returned with the song I'll Be Yours, which would end up being their final release as a group. On January 11th, 2019, after another year and a half of no news, Dream Tea announced that all 4 members had chosen not to renew their contracts, so they wouldn't officially be disbanding as Girls' Day. Since then, each member has been pursuing their own careers in different fields, but don't worry, the girls still support each other to this day. As an example, back in November of 2020, Mina shared this picture of the group all together backstage at the musical that she was in. So while they may not be releasing new music, the members are still very close friends. So with all of that being said, what should Girls' Day be remembered for? Well, to me, aside from all their iconic songs that we should remember, they're also a girl group that was extremely talented and versatile. In several releases like Oh My God, Twinkle Twinkle, and Don't Flirt, the girls showed their silly side and that they weren't afraid to have some fun with their music. And yet at the same time, in release after release, we got powerful high notes and ultra catchy choreography that was executed perfectly. Not to mention fantastically executed sexy concepts. Partway through their careers, Girls' Day developed an image of smoldering beauty and sexiness that started with Expect, and they continued to execute over and over again. And that versatility really shone through in their highest charting single, Darling. They may make it look easy in the MV, but it's no small feat to exude this perfect mix of cute and sexy that they showed. It's pretty hard to come up with a similar example of a girl group who just flipped a switch and pumped out hit after hit after hit partway through their time as a group. Yet Girls' Day did that and did it flawlessly. And yet, to me, they're also underrated in a way. Despite how iconic so many of their comebacks were, they only had a single #1 song. Their albums also never made it past number 3 on their respective charts, and no one album ever sold more than about 40,000 copies. Why is that? Well, perhaps they were a victim of timing. After all, when you think of second generation girl groups, who do you think of? Maybe 4 Minute, 2NE1, Girls' Generation, A-Pink, Sistar. Girls' Day doesn't always come to mind immediately. And yet despite that, when you look at their body of work, these girls produced so many phenomenal songs with iconic dances and visuals, some of which I've even included in my own top 100 songs of all time lists. So is it possible for a legend to also be underrated? Well, it's a subjective question to be fair, but for me, there's no question that it is possible, and there's no question that Girls' Day should be considered among the very best girl groups in K-pop history. So, do you think Girls' Day are underrated compared to other legendary girl groups? What's your favorite song of theirs? I want to hear all your thoughts on this fantastic girl group down below. As always, thank you so much for watching this deep dive, and if you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss all the great K-pop content coming your way every single week here at Hallyu. This has been deep dive number 67, Girls' Day.